Hello everyone, this video is called Text-to-CadQuery. Now it's based on a white paper from 2025 and the title was A New Paradigm for CAD Generation with Scalable Large Model Capabilities. What does that actually mean? So if you've experimented with CAD Query, you know that you can create a model from code. So we're generating CAD query code with the strengths of pre-trained LLMs to produce 3D models without intermediate representations. It's probably easier to see this, which was the diagram in the white paper. So top left, we've got example CAD query. We've got minimal JSON. Then below we've got the actual CAD query code. And you can see the system instruction. You are a CAD expert. Given CAD modeling sequence in JSON format, convert it. So you might not even want to pass in minimal JSON. You might just want to say, make me a CAD query model of a pair of sunglasses or a pair of scissors or something that's 3D printable, for instance, or as I've done, a coffee mug. You can see the image down in the bottom corner. They've just got to make a cylinder, but I think they've done more than that, to be fair. But you can see the bottom left. You've got part one. You've got the radius. You've got the height. You've got the work plane. You've got the circle. You extrude it, translate it, and then finally export it to STL file. I'll show you something neat there that I've discovered today, which is a STL viewer that you can run from the command line, coded in Rust, believe it or not, but I'll show you that in a second. So the output is the STL file, but in between passing in the prompt, it goes through all this. So it goes to a large language model. I'll show you in a second. I've tried it with a local large language model, a free one, and then I've tried with Claude, which I'm using the free version of Claude in the browser, but you could use the Claude API or Gemini API or Open API. So if execution is successful, CAD query obviously spits out an STL file. If CAD query fails, you pass back the error message back to the large language model, and then it checks the error, and then it plans, and then it writes some new code. So yeah, the human, I think, is still quite important here for the time being. So my idea is, how can we make, or can we make, parametric models from or using LLMs? So potentially you can use an LLM with the dynamic prompt, but what if you actually want to make a parametric model? Now, if you were running a website and it gave people options of width, height, depth, number of holes, number of pegs, for instance, if you were making like a, I don't know, a key holder or something. So you might just want to make a parametric model that can then be used, or that code can be run on a server without needing to access the large language model. Right, so here's my findings. This is the bits that will either surprise or not surprise you. So I asked Llama 3.1, 8 billion parameters, to create me a CAD query, or the Python file to call CAD query, to build me a model of a mug. Now that actually looks more like, I don't know, a bird's nesting box. It's a cylinder, which presumably would be the part of the mug that holds the liquid, and the hole in the side, in the y-axis, God knows what that is, because that should be in the top face. So it's got its work planes mixed up, I would imagine. So that was just one attempt using a free model, Llama 3.1, run using a Llama. Right, next. This is what Claude Sonnet produced. And believe it or not, it is parametric. But you can see in the right hand, I mean, this is a bit of an extreme example. I changed the height from 100 millimeters to 160. No, it's not really parametric, is it? But I think it's a good start. So I wrote no CAD query code to achieve this. So I think that's significant. And I'll show you the code in a second, and I'll run it, and I'll show you how I create the STL or inspect the STL files using watch-STL, which is a neat little program I found. So that's the end of that little presentation section. And now what I'm going to do is show you getting in the model here. Right, I'll show you the project. So this is Python code. Python code, I'm using UV Package Manager. You could use pip in requirements if you want to. So this is what I've this is what I've been working with. And if we look at main, so supposedly it generates a coffee mug, body and handle as an STL file, fully driven by the parameters below. Tweak any value and rerun. So far so good. The mug height was what I changed. So I changed that to 6. And then you saw what happened. So the outer radius, wall thickness, base thickness. So those are 4 parameters you can change. You can change the fillet radius, radii, the tube radius, handle reach. Yeah. Okay. There's so many parameters, so many variable parameters here. You might as well just redraw it from scratch. Okay. I don't think it's how you would plan it if you were a human. You would probably just want height, width, depth, and kind of wall thickness of the mug. But you would probably make the thickness of the wall thickness of the mug would be parametric based off the height and the width. So I think the AI has used too many variables, is my opinion. So it's creating a cylinder. So outer radius minus wall thickness. Yeah, I'd have a lot more driving dimensions. So the work plane is XY, offset, circle, extrude. So that's giving you the start. So that's the body. Wow. Okay, so it's checking for absolute. So if it's a minus, it strips off the minus. I don't know what that TOL is. Okay. The problem with using AI to do this is it makes it very difficult to troubleshoot. You just have to feed it back into AI, which is just the problem in general with doing code in AI. Reinforcement pads. I didn't ask for this either. Solid bosses at the 2 handle attachment points. Each is a short cylinder axis along X, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Handle. A tube. So first off, it tried to do the handle as an arc, and it looked absolutely dreadful. So using my initiative, I asked it, using text, I asked it to make something look more like a square bracket rather than a capital C. Okay, so combine and export, and then it exports to coffee mug right at the end. Okay, so let me see what I've got a command here. What was it called? It was just called coffee mug, wasn't it? I'm getting in the muddle here because I've run so many test examples. Main.py and UV run main.py, and then 2 ampersands, and then watch-stl, which is a utility I've installed to view STL files. And my code at the moment is creating coffee_mug STL. So if we run this Python code will use CADQuery, create the model of the code that we've just looked at, and then we'll open it and view it. And that looks a bit odd, but that's just because it's viewing it from below. So that's actually pretty good. I'll just show you, just for lols, we'll change something here. Let's just change the wall thickness, because that shouldn't do anything too crazy. It'll just make it quite thick. But you can already see the power of this, because it's yeah, wow, you can see it's a lot thicker there. You see the thickness. I'm a bit disappointed it didn't. I don't think it's put a radius there. That looks quite a sharp. Yeah, you wouldn't want that. It's almost like it's thinking it's a grab rail. Okay, so how long did this take me? It took about, I don't know, 15 minutes with Claude. I don't think the time is ultra important, because if you were doing this for, say, a customer or for a website, you'd probably only actually need to do it once. Can't see boss there anywhere. So these although these are all parameters, they're not driven. So, you know, you'd normally want the handle height to be half the height of their mug height divided by 2, and so on. So this is not really parametric as you would design it in a 3D modeling program with driven dimensions. Let's just run it one more time. You see it's gone. You see how the thickness of the it's got, that's quite a thin wall thickness again there, isn't it? I would say that's more like a plastic mug rather than a ceramic one. The ceramic one would be, I would say, a tad thicker. One good thing is, though, the handle didn't go through the body. Well, this time it didn't. The first model I made, even using Claude, the handle came through the body, which was not ideal. So let's actually just look at the white paper if you're interested. You may or may not be. Okay, so this is the PDF of the white paper. Computer-aided design, fundamental, blah, blah, blah. We're going to use the strength of pre-trained LLMs to produce 3D models. Our best model achieves a top exact match of 69%, up from 58%. So that's kind of the accuracy you're looking at. But I really don't know what they were building, and it obviously wasn't parametric. To me, the whole point of making a 3D model is that it's parametric, because, as I say, you don't want to be using AI, because every time you use AI, you're going to have to go through the same workflow and the same pipeline. So that's, I mean, obviously, maybe one day when it's really trustworthy, that'll be fine. But until it's really trustworthy, this human inspection, you'll have to do that if it's not a robust parametric model. So in my world, you want a robust parametric model, and you don't want to have to keep doing human inspection. Maybe I'm just a bit fussy. So yeah, they've used CADQuery, which I found fascinating, because if you're familiar with my channel, I've been using or experimenting with CADQuery for maybe 3 or 4 years on and off. So we surveyed several popular open source models, including DeepSeek, Qwen, Gemma, Llama, and Mistral. You can see the accuracy of the models in a graph. So Qwen actually was the best performing one that you can see there. Qwen 2.5 for 3 billion parameters, which actually is quite a small model. So there we go. There's lots of, if you get this white paper, I'll put the link in the video description. There's other stuff you can look at, and for instance, there's an AI CAD model generator. I don't know much about them, but it's a company who is using AI with a website where you can go in and create your models. The examples are pretty much like a golf tee, or yeah, just small stuff. But I think this is a very interesting. It's a very interesting avenue to pursue, shall we say. So on that note, I'm going to sign off here, but hopefully you've enjoyed this thought-provoking look at whether a large language model can create a 3D parametric model. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. Channel takes a lot of hard work, and I don't get much financial reward for it, so at least help feed the algorithm for me if you could, please. Thank you. Cheers.